So we're towards the beginning of the fifth and final book in the Torah, Devarim, Deuteronomy, or as a friend of mine who's a character likes to call it, Dude-eronomy. And there it is. Chapter 6, passage 4, the Jewish national anthem, Shema Yisrael. The Shema is meant to bookend our lives. We teach it to our children as soon as they're old enough to say it, giving them the words to use to express their love for God and impressing upon them that everything that happens in the world happens through God. And of course, impressing upon us as parents that no matter the blood and the sweat and the tears that we're going to put into that child, which of course we should, at the end of the day, God's going to determine the ultimate result. And at the end of our lives, on our deathbeds, we're supposed to say Shema again. One last opportunity to accept God's sovereignty and dominion. An opportunity to recognize and reflect on and accept the fact that everything that happened to us throughout the span of our lifetime came from God. One last time to say to God, I love you, to reciprocate in some small measure for all the love that He showed us throughout our lifetime. And the Shema is also meant to bookend our day every day. In the morning when we wake up, we say Shema, God, I love you. Thank you so much for giving me my soul back. I recognize anything that's going to happen to me today comes from you. And then throughout that day, He showers us with love. Whether good things happen or bad things happen, He loves us. All our talent, all our resources came from Him. And so before we go to sleep, one more time, 6 words, we say to God, I love you. I know everything that happened to me today came from you. And please safeguard my soul tonight before you give it back to me, hopefully in the morning. When we say Shema, we cover our eyes with our hand. Our hand has 5 fingers. We're telling God, I love you so much. And it's so clear to me that you run the world that I'm going to dedicate all 5 of my senses to serving you. And when we cover our eyes, it helps us to concentrate. But there's a much deeper meaning and message. In America, the national anthem begins, Oh, say can you see? In Judaism, it begins, Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel, hear, listen, understand, but not see. Because we can't see God in the exile. It's not that open and obvious. We don't see bombs bursting in air. We have to look hard in order to see God. We can only hear Him. But our ancestors saw Him. That generation that left Egypt, they saw 10 plagues. They saw the sea split. They saw Moses go up on the mountain for 40 days and nights and come down with the 10 commandments. They saw manna falling from heaven. But now it's 40 years later, in the 40th year in the desert. And Moses, when he sang the Shema, is talking to a new generation. A generation, for the most part, was born in the wilderness. They didn't see all those things that their parents saw. They heard about God. And their children and their grandchildren are going to hear about God rather than seeing Him. Same way we heard about God, because of all the sacrifices that our parents and our grandparents made, educating us, despite all the persecutions and despite the cost and the difficulties, making sure that we would hear God so that we'd have the tools to be able to see Him in the exile when it's difficult, when it's dark out there. And that places the responsibility on us, puts the mantle on our shoulders to make sure that our children will hear God, because it's tougher and tougher every day for them to see Him. And the only way they're going to hear about Him is through us. 6 words. 6 words that, if said properly with the right intentions, once in the morning, once at night, can change our day, can change our week, our month, our year, our lives. Shema Yisrael.